In today's world, waking up on time seems impossible without an alarm clock. How did people do it back before alarm clocks? Have you ever woken up just before your alarm clock goes off? It feels like magic. In ancient Greece, people used water clocks called clepsydras. Okay, they didn't have clocks per se. These devices would slowly fill up with water. Basically, a stick would burn down and then it would drop a metal ball onto a gong. The sound wasn't loud, so you had to be close enough to hear it. It's like an ASMR experience, but for waking up. In 1876, Seth Thomas patented the mechanical alarm clock in America. Finally, something adjustable. Factories loved it because now they could set the clocks to make sure workers were on time. And those workers better not be late. Losing your job was not an option. Back then, people even hired knocker-uppers. Wait, what? So these were people who went around knocking on windows with sticks to wake others up. Imagine getting a knock on your window as your morning wake-up call. That's England for you. And then make a sound when they overflowed. That was their way of telling the time. They were louder, more reliable, and just simpler to use. And then in the 1940s, radio alarm clocks hit the scene. You need the right tools and a lot of patience. But hey, maybe someday we'll get there. Who knows? Maybe in the future, our dreams will be so vivid that we won't want to wake up. But until that happens, I think I'll stick to my alarm. And if you're wondering why mine's set for 4 a.m., well, it's a long story. Now you could wake up to music instead of just a buzz. Talk about a pleasant surprise. The Romans also liked those water clocks, but they took it a step further. You name it, you can wake up to anything. Some apps even track your sleep patterns and wake you up at the perfect time. But no matter how fancy our alarm clocks become, the basic idea remains the same. Something has to interrupt your sleep to get you moving. They used similar clocks, but instead of water, they used bells to signal the time. So imagine hearing a bell ringing every few minutes to tell the time. That's what your life would sound like if you lived in ancient Rome. Now let's travel to ancient China. There's this story about an incense clock. During the Islamic Golden Age, engineers got really good at making mechanical clocks. These clocks were powered by weights and gears. Some of them even had alarms built in. They were used to wake up for morning prayers. But over in medieval Europe, most people didn't have clocks, not even for telling the time, let alone having an alarm. So how did they wake up? Well, they relied on the town bell or the rising sun. Farmers had it easy. Their days started when the rooster crowed. But if you lived in a city, your sleep schedule was dictated by the bell. And I don't mean a nice little chime. I'm talking about a loud bell that rang to tell people it was time to start their day. Now let's fast forward to the 18th century in New Hampshire, USA. A guy named Levi Hutchins wakes up one day with an idea. He wanted to build a personal alarm clock. Not just any alarm clock, mind you, but one that would ring at exactly 4 a.m., because that was his favorite time to wake up. And guess what? He built it. The first ever personal alarm clock that could ring at any time, except it could only ring at 4 a.m. It was a one-trick pony, but hey, someone had to start the trend. Then in the 19th century, alarm clocks started becoming a thing. With the invention of electricity came electric alarm clocks. Today, we have smartphones, smartwatches, and even smart speakers. Waking up without an alarm is like trying to catch a wild animal.